So first of all, I think Apo did the introduction for me. So it's a great pleasure to be here with you again after some time. I think since the last GREEN4SEA. So it's really a pleasure. I'm the technical director of WLPG at the World LPG Association. For those of you who do not know the World LPG Association, we're an association that represents the interests of the market of LPG all around the world. We have more than 300 members, and we represent more than 125 countries around the world. But the subject here, of course, it's, as you see, the use of LPG for marine. And I will try to go through some of the key aspects, I think, that for the use of LPG and marine. And I will start first with the pressure we have in maritime. I'm not going to stay very much into those details that you see up, because I think most of them are already known to you, or you have heard them from speakers below. But you know, the IMO ambitions, you know, the ECSA, you know, the carbon density indicators and the measures. The revisions that probably as expected from the IMO, the greenhouse strategy. And 2025, 2030, 2050, up to 70% CO2 reductions that are being expected. So these are probably all mostly well known to you. But I will go more to the drivers also of the decarbonization journey. And what we have in front of us, it is you know, the regulatory changes, the regulatory pressures, the pressures to capital if we actually were not able to meet these requirements, and of course the pressures also from the market, from our customers to decarbonize. The key trends of what this brings to us, to everyone, it is an alternative, an increase for alternative fuels demand. I mean, this is what drives the change. A more diverse fuel mix. A continuous strong interest for gaseous fuels. This we see, whether it is LNG, whether it is LPG, other gaseous fuels. We see an interest also for methanol, and we heard before the questions about its toxicity, its health risk. This is a reality. We see also clearly an increase of biofuels demand, all the biofuels for all the markets and for marine also. We heard about ammonia, and we had the possibility, the pleasure to hear from John all his concerns about ammonia. The carbon capture possibilities, and this is something that I think it will be an add-on whatever we decide, or at least the fuels that contain the carbon. So everything goes towards this direction, and actually we can see it from the orders of the vessels that we had so far. 63% of the 2022 orders were for alternative capable units versus around 30% which we had before. This is something that shows you the properties of the LPG, but I'm not going to go through all the properties of the LPG. It is just to focus on something which is very important, and this is the energy density of the product, the energy density of LPG. And as you see, it has the best energy density after diesel. It's just one and a half time the storage volume it requires compared to diesel. And you see also all the other alternative fuels that we have in our agenda. It is much more. We see the methanol with 2.5, the ammonia with 3, and so on. So it really provides a very attractive fuel in terms of its energy density and the volume that it occupies on the ship. Also, something else that we had been ignoring or largely till now, it is the value, the benefits from well-to-wake basis. We start, and we need to actually work on well-to-wake basis, and the LPG, in fact, as we see here, it is it is the best. I mean, the graphs up here, and they're not our graphs, obviously, but it is the best alternative fuel from well to wake basis. Up there you will see also some benefits and comparisons with the other alternative fuels that we have. We put some green and yellow boxes to provide the readiness of the fuel and other benefits. But again, you see that LPG really shows that it is one of the best alternatives that we may have today. The same more or less you can see on this table, on this graph up here. That's another comparison which does not come from ourselves. It comes from I think somebody showed this also before from DNV. Yeah, it comes from DNV, and again, once more, it shows how attractive the LPG stands compared to the other fossil fuels, and also to the other alternative biofuels. The thing is that LPG is available today. We have it all around us, everywhere around the world. Every one of us, in one way or another, either in our cigarette lighter or in our barbecue or at home, we know LPG. So it's a product which exists everywhere. We are very familiar. We know how to handle it. Available everywhere. What do we have today from LPG in terms of marine vessels which are using LPG now as a fuel? We have on the water 53 carriers, largely VLGC, most of them. So 53 are on the water. We have more than 150 which are on order or already on the water. But also very important is some data that actually I just came out came out from DNV, which shows that for 2022 there were 50 orders of new builds for LPG fuel vessels, which bring it at second place after LNG, and in fact it makes 15% of the orders of alternative fuel powered vessels. One of the vessels is also the one that you see up here, which came actually from it is from Lloyd's. A very good example of what I was saying before. But it's not only for gas carriers, for LPG carriers, LPG so attractive. It should be, and it is actually for other ones. It just has not been understood well, we believe, yet. And it is a very alternative, very attractive fuel also for all other segments apart from from gas carriers. The benefits, you can see them up there. I'm not going to read again the list. Very many benefits for using the LPG as a fuel. An additional thing, however, on top comes from the renewables. So LPG or propane, it depends where we are and how we call it, it has also its renewable version. Renewable, bio, whatever we call it, it comes with various names. We can hear it or see it as biopropane, as ELPG or as ELG. There are about 8 different pathways to produce renewable LPG or renewable propane. And on top of that, we have something else. Recently, we have brought into the market another molecule which is very familiar and very close to LPG, which is called DME, dimethyl ether. DME can be transported, can be used more or less like LPG. And in the LPG industry, we are working now in marketing blends of LPG and DME, renewable DME, of course, which is going to bring down the carbon index even further than what the renewable LPG, bio-LPG can do today. So I think you would agree with me, there are so many benefits and such a bright future for renewable LPG, renewable DME, for the LPG market on the whole. And with this, I would like to to finish now my presentation. If you would like to hear something more, you can see my details up on the screen. You can also catch me during the break if you wish. And I would like to thank everyone for listening, and Apostolos for the invitation to this excellent event. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nikos.